Before you try to repair your circumstances, hear this first. The reason your life feels stuck is that your focus has drifted everywhere except toward yourself. You keep watching people who add nothing to your future. You keep justifying yourself to people who have already decided to misread you. You keep reacting to static, hunting for validation, and mistaking that for progress. But the day you go quiet, the day you stop pleading to be noticed and pour that energy back into your own thinking, your own discipline, your own calm, everything starts to shift. Not because the world becomes gentler, but because you finally stop bleeding your own strength away. The instant you quit explaining yourself, people start to notice your stillness. And here is what most people never grasp. Stillness isn't weakness. It isn't fear. It isn't a hiding place you retreat to when the world gets too loud. Stillness is where you land once you remember your own strength. You've spent too many days trying to prove you're growing. Too much energy trying to convince people you're serious now, that you've changed, that your intentions are honest, that your dream is real. But consider this, a seed doesn't argue with the dirt. A mountain doesn't justify its own height. A river doesn't beg to be believed when it moves. It simply moves. And because it keeps moving, day after day, without needing an audience, it eventually carves through solid rock. That's what happens when you turn inward and stay quiet. Life stops being a contest for attention and becomes a workshop for mastery. You stop waking up wondering who's watching you and start asking whether you're watching yourself. You stop measuring your worth by the noise around your name and start measuring it by the discipline inside your day. And strangely, the moment you stop chasing everything external, the external world begins rearranging itself around you. Most people can't manage this. They crave visibility before they're ready for it. They want the harvest before the roots have gone deep. They want respect before the routine is solid, victory before the private work has shaped who they are. So they talk too soon. They overshare. They hand their plans to people who have no business touching them, and then act shocked when doubt, envy, criticism, and distraction come pouring through the door they opened. Not every dream needs spectators. Not every wound needs a witness. Not every plan needs a press release. Some things need to be guarded in silence until they're strong enough to withstand pressure. When you're rebuilding yourself, understand something crucial. Your attention is your life. Wherever it goes, your life follows. Fix it on other people's opinions, and your life becomes their possession. Fix it on comparison, and your peace becomes a hostage. Fix it on old wounds, and your future stays kneeling to your past. But when your attention comes home, to your breath, your body, your habits, your mind, your choices, your work, you stop being scattered. You become gathered. And a gathered person is dangerous, not because they mean harm, but because they're no longer easy to steer. People can manipulate the distracted, unsettle the reactive, exploit the starving ego. But someone quiet and inward focused is hard to budge. Praise doesn't intoxicate them. Insults don't wreck them. Delay doesn't crack them. Rejection doesn't define them. They've stopped being a leaf tossed by wind. They've become the tree. You might assume silence means doing nothing. That's a shallow read. Real silence is packed with effort. It's rising when your body wants to stay soft. It's training with no camera rolling. It's studying with no applause. It's healing with no apology offered. It's choosing calm while your anger begs for a scene. It's walking away when your pride wants one final round. This is why silence carries such force. It strips away the decoration and exposes the frame underneath. Stop talking, and you find out what you're actually made of. Stop posting every feeling, and you discover whether you can sit with it. Stop complaining about distractions, and you learn whether you're willing to remove them. Stop blaming others for stealing your peace, and you see how often you simply handed it over. That realization can sting. Most people dodge silence because silence doesn't lie. Noise gives you an exit. Noise hands you someone to blame. Noise keeps your thoughts spinning, so you never have to face the plain question: what am I actually doing with my life? But when the room goes quiet, the phone goes down, the conversation ends, and no one's left to impress, the truth stands right in front of you. If you're brave, you don't run from it. You bow to it, you learn, you change. That's where the path starts. Not when everyone finally understands you, not when someone finally apologizes, not when life gets easier. It starts the moment you stop bargaining with your own weakness. You say you want peace, yet you keep feeding the habits that breed chaos. You say you want focus, yet you let every notification, opinion, memory, and stranger's mood walk into your mind like they own it. You say you want respect, yet you keep disrespecting your own time. You say you want a new life, yet you drag the same old reactions into every new situation. That's not bad luck. That's poor training. A trained mind doesn't obey every feeling, it observes. It says, anger is here, but I don't have to become it. Fears is here, but I don't have to become it. Desire is here, but I don't have to become it. Loneliness is here, but I don't have to run into the wrong company just to escape myself. This is where freedom begins. Not getting everything you want, but no longer being dragged around by whatever shows up inside you. Focusing on yourself doesn't make you selfish. It makes you responsible. There's a real difference. A selfish person uses others to fill their own emptiness. A responsible person stops demanding that others fix what they've refused to face themselves. When you turn inward, you stop asking the world to carry your unfinished business. You stop expecting people to hand you discipline, clarity, confidence, peace. You start building those things yourself. And once you build them, you settle. You no longer need to win every argument, correct every misunderstanding, chase people who prefer distance, or explain your heart to those determined to misread it. Let them think what they think. Let them say what they say. Let them go where they go. Your life isn't a courtroom. You're not on trial every single day. The strongest version of you won't come from revenge. It'll come from restraint. Revenge keeps your energy chained to whoever hurt you. Restraint pulls that energy back to the person you're becoming. This is where a lot of people fail. They say, I'll show them, and their entire life turns into a reaction to someone else. That's still a cage. You're not free just because you're winning in front of them. You're free when they stop being the reason you move at all. Move because your spirit knows it's time. Move because your body deserves strength. Move because your future deserves a better caretaker. Move because the child in you has waited long enough for an adult to finally show up. Move because you're tired of betraying yourself in small ways and calling it survival. Once you go quiet, expect to be misread. Let it happen. Some will call you distant because they've lost access to your reactions. Some will call you arrogant because you stopped shrinking to keep them comfortable. Some will call you cold because you're no longer available for drama. That's normal. When you break an old pattern, the people who benefited from it will complain. Don't be surprised. A door doesn't apologize for closing when the room needs protecting. Your silence will show you who respects your boundaries and who only respected your availability. Your focus will show you who supports your growth and who simply liked you confused. Your peace will show you who brings calm and who brings storms. This is how turning inward reshapes your circle without a single dramatic announcement. You simply stop feeding what weakens you, and the wrong things fall away on their own. Understand, though, That falling away can feel like loss before it feels like freedom. At first, silence can feel isolating. Discipline can feel dull. Growth can feel invisible. You might look around and think nothing's happening, but plenty is happening below the surface. The root grows before the flower shows. The foundation gets built before the house is seen. The blade is forged in fire before it's ever raised in battle. Don't dismiss your hidden season just because no one else can see it. That season is sacred. It's where you become. It's where you strip away the weak agreements you've made with yourself. Where you learn your mood can't run your mission. Where you stop expecting motivation to carry what only discipline can carry. Motivation is a visitor. Discipline has to become the house you live in. Every morning hands you a small gate. Most people walk through it, half asleep, grabbing the phone, feeding their mind noise, comparing their life to others before they've even met their own breath, and then wonder why they feel weighed down. Don't hand your mind over before the world even arrives. Come back to yourself first. Breathe, sit still, move your body, clean your space, drink water, read something that sharpens your thinking, write down the one thing that actually matters, and do it before the day fills up. This isn't casual advice. This is a battle against your old self. The old self loves comfort, loves excuses, loves tomorrow. The old self says, start when you feel ready, but readiness is often just wisdom in disguise for a lie. You get ready by practicing before you're ready. You build confidence by acting while doubt is still talking. You get strong by lifting what feels heavy. You find peace by choosing it while anger still has a voice. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions produce weak people. Hard conditions reveal your actual training. Anyone can look calm when nothing's testing them. Anyone can talk about patience when life is giving them what they asked for. But can you stay steady when the answer is delayed? Stay honest when a lie would be easier? Stay kind without turning foolish? Stay quiet when your ego is starving for the last word? That's the real test, not the one you post about, but the one that plays out in ordinary moments. The message you don't send, the habit you refuse to repeat, the hour you protect, the food you choose, the anger you breathe through, the gossip you walk away from, the promise you keep to yourself when no one would ever know if you broke it. These small, private victories are the bricks of a life that doesn't crumble easily. People go looking for transformation in dramatic moments. The one decision, the one speech, the one big break. But most lives change quietly. One better morning, one honest reflection, one disciplined hour, one avoided conversation, one respected boundary, one finished task, one survived temptation. One night choosing rest over self-destruction. These things look small. Repeated, they become destiny. Turning inward shows you how much energy you were wasting. Carrying arguments that ended months ago. Rehearsing conversations with people who weren't even thinking about you. Trying to be understood by people who enjoyed misunderstanding you. Chasing approval from people who hadn't even approved of themselves, watering dead branches and wondering why the tree looks tired. Cut the dead branches, not out of spite, but out of clarity. Some people belong to your past. Some habits belong to your weaker self. Some places belong to the version of you that didn't know better yet. Stop revisiting what you're trying to outgrow. You can't heal in the same environment that rewards your sickness. You can't stay focused while entertaining every distraction. You can't be quiet while addicted to reacting. Choose. Choice is the blade. Every day you cut. Cut the excuses. Cut the noise. Cut the manufactured urgency. Cut the need to be liked by everyone. Cut the performance of being fine when you're actually avoiding the work. But don't cut your heart. Don't turn bitter. Don't turn cruel. Turn clear. Clarity isn't loud. It doesn't need to insult anyone. It simply knows. It knows what belongs and what doesn't. It knows when to speak and when to save your breath. It knows when helping has quietly become enabling. It knows when staying has become self-abandonment. It knows that peace isn't found by controlling everyone around you, but by governing the kingdom inside you. That kingdom exists whether you've tended it or not. Your thoughts are its messengers. Your habits are its laborers. Your values are its laws. Your attention is its currency. Your body is its temple. Your breath is its gate. If you let strangers, fears, addictions, and old wounds run that kingdom, don't be shocked when your life feels occupied by someone else. Reclaim the throne. Reclaiming it means you stop living like a visitor in your own mind. You stop letting every emotion sit in the highest chair. You listen, but you don't obey everything you hear. You feel, but you don't worship every feeling. You remember, but you don't let memory turn into a cell. You want things, but you don't sell your future for a moment's comfort. This is inner leadership, and when it grows, your outer life starts to shift. Not by magic, not because the universe is impressed with your quiet. It shifts because your decisions get cleaner, your reactions slow down, your standards rise, your time gets protected, your words get fewer and heavier, your work gets deeper, your presence gets weightier. People feel it when you stop leaking energy. Have you ever walked into a room and felt someone's calm before they even spoke? That's no accident. That's accumulated discipline. That's a nervous system trained not to worship chaos. That's someone who sat with themselves in silence over and over and didn't run. You can become that too, not by faking the appearance of peace, but by doing the inner work. And inner work isn't always pretty. Sometimes it's admitting you were the common thread in patterns you kept blaming on other people. Sometimes it's seeing that you loved drama because peace felt foreign. Sometimes it's noticing you used busyness to dodge emptiness. Sometimes it's confessing you wanted the success but not the sacrifice. None of that is shame. It's awareness. And awareness is the first clean breath after a long sleep. Don't hate the version of you that survived on bad habits. That version got you here. But don't let it lead forever. Respect your old self for surviving. Then train your new self. Survival isn't the same as living. Survival reacts. Life chooses. Survival clings. Life creates. Survival fears silence. Life grows inside it. Eventually people will notice you've changed. They'll ask what happened, hoping for some secret method. But the truth will feel almost too plain for them. You stopped arguing with your own potential. You stopped making your pain your identity. You stopped waiting to be rescued. You stopped announcing your next move to everyone. You stopped feeding whatever was feeding on you. You went quiet, and in that quiet, you got serious. Seriousness is rare. Most people feel emotional about their dreams without ever being serious about them. They talk with fire and act with laziness. They want transformation but protect their comfort. They make promises at night and break them by morning. Seriousness is different. It needs no audience. It chooses the boring repetition that produces uncommon results. It stays after the excitement leaves. So ask yourself honestly, are you serious or just inspired? Inspiration makes you talk. Seriousness makes you practice. Inspiration lets you picture a new life. Seriousness makes you delete what keeps dragging you back. Inspiration can make you feel powerful for an hour. Seriousness makes you humble enough to start over every single day. This is why silence helps. It strips away the intoxication of talking. Talk too much about what you're going to do. And your mind sometimes tastes the reward before the work is even finished. You collect praise for an intention and mistake it for progress. Be careful. Announcing can substitute for doing. Explaining can substitute for changing. Planning can substitute for beginning. Silence forces out the truth. Did you do the work or didn't you? There's peace in that. Harsh, but clean. You either trained or you didn't. Protected your time or you didn't. Kept your word or you didn't. No drama, no long story, no blaming the weather, your family, your past, your mood, the economy, or the people who never believed in you. Some obstacles are real, but your response is still yours. Don't confuse compassion with an excuse. Yes, your pain is real. Yes, what happened to you may have been unfair. Yes, some people damage things inside you they never bothered to help repair. But if you use that pain as a license to stay undisciplined, the wound becomes your master. Pain isn't your fault. Healing is your responsibility. That truth is uncomfortable. A lot of people reject it. Rejecting it doesn't make it untrue. When you turn inward, you reclaim responsibility without taking on unnecessary blame. You say, I didn't choose every storm, but I'll choose how I build my shelter. I didn't choose every wound, but I'll choose whether I keep bleeding into my future. I didn't choose every ending, but I'll choose whether I come out bitter or wise. That's power, quiet power. Quiet power isn't interested in looking powerful. It doesn't need to dominate a room, embarrass anyone, or constantly prove itself. Quiet power can live without hatred, speak without shaking, listen without losing itself, work without applause, rest without guilt. Quiet power is when your inside and outside finally stop fighting each other. Most people are exhausted because their life is split into pieces. One face online, another with friends, another alone, another when scared. They spend so much energy managing an image that there's nothing left to build actual substance with. Stop performing. Build substance. An image needs constant upkeep. Substance needs practice. An image begs for attention. Substance earns respect. And understand, respect built on image is fragile. One rumor can shake it. One failure can break it. One quiet season can make people forget it. But respect built on substance is different. It's rooted in how you carry yourself, how you keep your word, how you handle pressure, how you treat people when there's nothing to gain, how you get back up after falling. That kind of respect isn't easily stolen because it was never borrowed from the crowd in the first place. There's a reason the deepest work happens away from noise. The body heals in rest. The mind clears in stillness. Character strengthens through private choices. The spirit sharpens when it isn't constantly fed distraction. You don't need more noise. You need more depth. Give shallow attention to everything, and you'll master nothing. That's the sickness of this age. Everyone touching everything, holding nothing. Everyone talking, few listening. Everyone watching, few seeing. Everyone busy, few becoming. Don't get swallowed by that. Choose depth. Choose 1 hour of real work over 10 hours of scattered effort. Choose one honest friend over a crowd of hollow praise. Choose one solid habit over 100 motivational quotes. Choose one quiet morning over 1,000 loud nights. Choose the slow path when the slow path builds something real. It isn't punishment, it's preparation. Fast success often exposes a weak foundation. People rise quickly and fall just as fast because their character never caught up to their opportunity. Don't envy the ones who seem to move faster. You don't know what their foundation can actually hold. Build yours instead. Strengthen the beam, deepen the root, clean the mind, train the body, refine your speech, guard your eyes, protect your ears, master your hands. Then when life finally hands you weight, you won't break under it. Silence also teaches timing. Not every truth needs to be spoken right away. Not every invitation needs an immediate answer. Not every emotion needs immediate action. Timing is patience in motion. The untrained person reacts because reacting feels powerful for a moment. The trained person waits, understanding that a moment's delay can save years of regret. Before you answer, breathe. Before you accuse, look closer. Before you quit, rest. Before you chase, ask what you're actually afraid of losing. Before you post, ask what hunger is really speaking. Before you speak, ask whether your words are medicine, poison, or just noise. That small gap between impulse and action is where your new life gets built. Don't underestimate it. In that gap, you choose not to fall back into the old pattern. You choose not to beg for love. You choose not to spend money impressing people while your own future goes hungry. You choose not to trade your silence for the cheap thrill of being noticed.